Hello and welcome to the December demonstration on keychains and handbag charms with flowers, or maybe not all of them are going to be with flowers, we'll see. This demonstration is more like a collection of ideas how you can use what you already know in order to make a different type of accessory. Normally, I really like to explore other areas or make accessories that I haven't made before. I like wearables, but this is a kind of wearable, although it's not going to be wearable by us, but more by our handbags, or potentially keys, and things like that. Most of these projects that I've tried are relatively easy and also quick to make compared to our normal flowers that require a lot of detail and many parts and things like that. So here, this is perhaps an opportunity to make something smaller, maybe giftable, or if you take part in any fairs, craft fairs or shows or something, you can make them to sell, because in my experience, a lot of expensive flowers, they don't really sell very well at fairs because people are not prepared to make an expensive purchase there, but perhaps they'll be quite willing to buy something little, which doesn't cost too much, and it's an easy, spontaneous purchase. So again, some holidays. I mean, we are going to be looking at spring soon, so any kind of blossoms or simple flowers in bright or monochromatic color combinations are all pretty welcome. And we have lots of different bags that we normally have, in different for different purposes and in different materials. So this can all be kind of dressed up with what we already know. So the challenge here was, if not in the intricacy of the design, but rather determining what kind of shapes will work and also what kind of materials will work. These particular items are more or need to be more robust and more hard wearing compared to our other delicate creations. If it's a headpiece, it just sits on the head. You don't really wear and tear it as much. You look after it. But if it's something as a keychain that might be thrown in a bag, it should be relatively sleek, robust, smooth shape that might not, catch things in the bag, and also might last a reasonable time. So I went on exploring different shapes for the flowers to kind of get some simplified but still recognizable shapes that we all know. So some cherry blossoms, different leaves. I tried some. Obviously, I didn't have time to try all of them, but you can continue that. So yes, like a four-leaf clover, or perhaps we can do a Canadian maple or other leaves that we know, Monstera cheese plant. It will look good as another option. Or simple flowers like blossoms, as I said, daisies. I tried chrysanthemum, which is slightly more intricate for this particular type of accessory, but the way it's made, it's perhaps relatively robust. So that can be an option as well. So along those lines, I also tried to work a bit with fur. So I tried to make like a fur cherries, and potentially you can just make a little how to say, like a fur ball on a keychain as well, or to add to another leather thing that you already have. So normally charms might have 1, 2 more things on them. It's up to you. Perhaps you'll make one bigger one and that will be sufficient, or you can add extra beads or some other smaller flower to it. So the combinations are really endless. So I've got myself some little plan of what I want to talk about. So let's see just a bit of an introduction again. So, the shapes have to be simplified, nothing too difficult. The materials have to be robust and hard wearing, preferably something that doesn't fray as much. That's why leather here is much preferable. Perhaps it's not a fraying material. Also, if you have leathers that were thick for other projects that we did, this is a good way to use them. I do have a number of leathers that I got at the time, and they were not ideal for more complex flowers. The leather was on slightly thicker side. This is the time to use these leathers. Also have a look at metallics. Often they are very tricky to work with in terms of stiffening, because the surface area, this metallic shine is applied to it and it can come off. So since for some projects we don't even need to stiffen leather, you can easily try using metallic leathers here, and in most projects you don't need much. You just need small pieces. Sometimes you can buy offcuts, so it will be just a selection of small pieces of leather, which will cost very little. So if you want fabrics, I suggest maybe look at either denim and see how you can interpret it in particular shapes to look robust and also last a reasonable time. Or also I'm going to show, I made the small camellia from tweed, but I double backed it. So I backed it with a metallic fabric first and then with velvet. So it's really kind of quite robust. It will wear out eventually, but I mean it as a bag charm, and perhaps on some little handbag, or maybe a clutch or something like this, where it's not going to be your supermarket bag where you just throw groceries in. So perhaps that will have a bit more TLC and will not fall apart as easy. So so all of these charms are still reasonably delicate, but they will be more hard wearing than a silk rose. In terms of materials, again, perhaps linen for summer bags also can work. I would try that. I haven't had a chance to try, but some quite heavy fabrics, velvet as well, maybe in particular shapes. So that can all be experimented with. And yes, backing or double backing will be very good, because then it will make your petals really quite solid, even more solid than just with one layer of backing. So yes, thicker fabrics, whatever you have a look at your tweeds, fur, making fur balls or some simple flowers. I'm actually thinking about doing a demo perhaps next month, since we're still in winter, on fur in flower making. I do prefer real fur because I think it's a more environmentally friendly material for me, because faux fur is essentially plastic. But real fur, of course, we're not going to be having fur from any endangered or exotic animals here. I'm talking some, British rabbit that can be bought in different colors, or natural color, if you like that, or maybe you have offcuts of some vintage. I have a bit of mink that I got from my mother. She had her fur coat shortened many years ago. I lived in a very northern climate for many years, and fur was a must if you can afford it, because it was really very cold and we didn't have all these man-made fibers back then. So you either get cold in a thin woolen coat, or you are lucky and maybe you have some some fur coat of whatever fur you could afford. So how do you say it? sheep sheepskin was also widely available. I mean, it is available in this country. You can buy it in different colors too. That could also perhaps be of use. But because we're, talking about winter kind of time accessories, leather does work well with fur, and it will also work well with felt hats, warmer style of hats for this period. So perhaps see these kind of flowers or even these keychains that we're making. Perhaps also you'll get some ideas for using on hats. As a good combination, they will work together very well. So I have some ideas for how we can use fur, but I'm sure if you prefer to work with artificial fur, then this will work with it as well. But that's probably for next month. Right, so findings and finishes for the keychains and charms. Essentially, they will be all the same. I got some from online basically, and some I already had. So I tried to combine what I have. So you need a number of different rings, split rings, perhaps for keychains, and lobster clasps. They are metal and they come in different finishes. So make sure what you decide you're going to be doing. So just keep all of them maybe in the same color, or have several colors that you will work with. Just plain stainless steel kind of finish, or maybe sometimes you can get golden, black as well. Antique brass also is there. So whatever you prefer, whatever works well with perhaps that color of leather that you have. So that's also to keep in mind. I'll show several different finishes that I did here. Also, what I did do was to get a tool to set rivets and eyelets. I don't really insist you have it, although I found that it was working quite well for this particular designs, but I'll show an alternative option if you don't have those. So, for example, how you can attach a flower as well by kind of adding loops to the back of the flower. So you can attach it to the chain, or maybe add some more pendants to the bottom of the flower as well. But these rivets and eyelets help create ways of attaching your flowers to your chains and clasps and split rings. So that was quite easy. What I was trying to avoid was sewing leather, because that's a whole different area, because we need to get the right threads, the right needles, and also have the techniques to do it, which is a whole different story. Perhaps in some designs we could use a little bit of sewing, but I was trying not to get into that area too much. So just using our kind of normal glue and these rivets and eyelets worked quite well. So obviously, all the finishes and jewelry type findings you can find online in different website shops, or even Amazon. They have some selection there as well. Perhaps it would be nice to have very good quality finishes, but I don't know. I need to do more research on that, where we can find some nice ones. I guess very expensive brands have theirs made for them. If you have any logo of your brand in a kind of charm that you can attach, you can do that. I have some, so I used it in one of the designs as well. I'll show later. So let's start with the simple keychain shapes that I think can work as a keychain really, and be kind of put in a bag without much fuss about it, and then see what more elaborate things we can make. I'm going to switch off on the camera to my table. So let's see. Right, so there are some samples here that I've made. So let's start with, I'll go through them and show what I've done.